look at some other ones here. Carter, I do have a question for you. The
So
Winnipeg Jets, Rutger and McGroarty, Nikolai Ehlers still in town. What are they going to move it or move them? Or are they staying next year? Or what's happening here, Carter? Do you
I
know?
don't, I don't. Oh my god, I don't think I'm. Oh my god, I don't even have words right now. I really hope
Oh,
that if I,
yeah.
I don't have words. Like as much as I want to say, like I got words for you, I don't. I really don't. I want Rutger to stay so bad, but I don't. I just don't know if it's like because we're a Canadian team. I don't know if it's because of like because the media he can say whatever he wants, but no one's gonna know how he actually truly feels. Like he can say, "Oh, it's ownership," or "Oh, it's I don't like how they treated me," but like it could just be he doesn't want to play in a Canadian market. Like this guy seems like he bleeds red, white, and blue. Like I don't know. Maybe he just wants to play for an American market, and that's just how it's going to be. I hate that it got out because now Jets have no leverage because every team knows that he wants out. The only leverage they have is they're like, well, these guys are offering me this. What can you do, right? So I really hope that we can get to see Rutger McGroarty. McGroarty. I've already forgotten how to pronounce his name because I'm this bummed out about it. Um, but he was going to be our future captain though. Like I'm not even going to lie, he was definitely going to be our future captain. There is
Yeah.
no, there is nothing you could say to try and fool me into thinking that in 6 years' time, probably less than that, that Rutger McGroarty was not going to be the Winnipeg Jets captain. I
Yeah.
think he would have been unreal at it. But now we got to get rid of him, and it sucks. I really hope that we can salvage this because I would hate to see him go. I want to keep him so bad, but it's okay. It's hockey. It's a business. But I hate. Oh my god! It's the Cutter 2.0, man. Every college players have so, especially these U.S. ones. College players have so much like leverage, and it's crazy.
It's not even leverage. It's just that they have such an attitude in their head. They're like, I want to play in the top six. I want to be on this team now.
Yeah,
I don't want
like
to. I want my spot. I don't want to have to earn it. Like that's the way I see it. So
it's
before you keep going, I found a quote from Sports Talk Winnipeg where Mike McIntyre reported new developments regarding Rutger McGroarty. He said not only do the Winnipeg Jets appear to be frustrated with the situation, now even trade talks have led to extreme frustration by other teams who might be interested in him. McIntyre said other teams are now hearing the same thing that the Jets are hearing about playing time assurances. He added there may have been a trade that was close to happening last week, but fell apart because the other team didn't like what they were hearing from the McGroarty camp. He believes that the general consensus is that there's a sense of entitlement with McGroarty and wonders if he is getting some bad advice. He wondered whether it gets to a point where things might change and the McGroarty camp reevaluates things. So shout out to Riley Denault for giving me that quote. He's a big podcast fan. But Carter, what do you think after hearing that? Not only are the Jets frustrated, but teams that are trying to trade for him are frustrated.
so
Wild.
yeah. Also glad you shouted out the Winnipeg Jets Sports Talk Radio. Love that. Love that podcast. Love it. All things Winnipeg sports. I don't know. It's a great podcast. You're from Winnipeg. Give it a listen. I doubt anyone listens is, but whatever.
Unless the
Exactly. Yeah, hearing about that kind of makes me feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that it's not just like a Winnipeg thing. Um, because you're gonna get passion if you come here, and I feel like that's what a lot of players want is they want someone who's gonna be passionate. They want fans who are gonna be passionate, and that's what we are. And hearing that it's him and his camp like that kind of makes me feel a little better. But it's gonna have to come down to like because you can. Oh my god, like this could actually ruin his career. Like I'm gonna be honest, like because
it absolutely could. You're right.
if it gives this bad of a taste in some team's mouths, like you're not getting a job. Like you can have your 3 years and you can go straight into free agency all you want, but you're not going to get the money you want. You're not going to get the contract you want. like you're sure as hell maybe not getting the teams that you want because they're like, oh, we heard about this. We heard he's got this entitlement thing to him. Like, yeah, sure, you're the first line at Michigan. You played first line for Team USA. Like, you captained them. Sure, you have all the right to have this. But you don't do this as a rookie. You don't do this as a 20-year-old going into the NHL. This is the best of the best. Like, there's 30-year-olds who are probably better than you. There's 35-year-olds who are probably better than you, who will put up more points than you. You don't get to beg. You do not get to say, I demand first line minutes. I will play 30 minutes a night. No ifs, ands, or buts. You don't do that. You're a 20-year-old going into the NHL. This has been your dream since you were a kid, and you're going to throw it out the window because you don't like sacrificing 2 minutes of ice time.
You know what I think is probably going to happen? What might happen, not what is probably going to happen. I think McGroarty's going to stay with the Jets.
He should. I think he will.
Hearing this and reading it out loud and hearing your thoughts, there is like it's like the Cutter situation, but at the same time it's not, because first off, it's not a Winnipeg thing. Like, you've seen before that people don't want to come to Winnipeg, like players don't want to come to Winnipeg because of, certain reasons. Not going to get into them here because it's not relevant.
Yeah, I'm going to rant if you do.
Yeah, I don't want Carter going off because it's happened many times before, but this isn't that. This is McGroarty and his camp. Maybe not McGroarty himself, but his agent and his camp being cocky, being entitled, thinking they should get something right now. It's kind of weird because, like, it reminds me a little bit like you go into a job and you go into like a job interview and you're like, I want the manager position right away. I want a like a 5-year pension or something like that. Like, I want these benefits now, not 6 months down the road, now. And I think that's like what this is. It's similar to this. Like, McGroarty wants to come straight to the NHL and get a top 6 role, get playing time. You just simply can't. You can't operate that way. And I think that there is going to be a point in this offseason. I'm sorry we're going really in depth with this, but there's going to be a point this offseason where McGroarty's and his camp is like, we don't have a choice. I think that, like, he's acting really entitled. I honestly think the Jets do keep him. Actually, even though we just went into a McGroarty loophole, or like McGroarty hole, I think that they will keep Ehlers too. I think Arniel, was it Scott Arniel, the coach, said that he wanted to keep Ehlers around. I think that there's a chance that Ehlers stays too. I don't know what your thoughts on that is, Carter. I feel like he would have been traded by now if he was going to get traded, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I think if he was going to get traded, it would have happened before the draft. We're 2 weeks past the draft. Yeah, we're 2 weeks past the draft, and I haven't heard too much on it. Like, there's all these mocks and everything of trades for Ehlers, but like, it's not gonna happen. Like, if it didn't my whole thing was, if it didn't happen before the draft, it wasn't happening. And it didn't happen before the draft, so I don't think it's happening. Now we could come back to this and look at this trade deadline. Jets are out of a playoff spot. Ehlers will probably get shipped. Yeah. I think it's gonna, because right now I think I'm looking at this as we're gonna be a fringe playoff team. Like, I'm not expecting anything higher than a 2 seed. That's our ceiling. We're not getting the 1. I doubt we'll get the 2. I'm looking for anything from that 3 to the second wild card. Anything in there, I will consider that as being, we hit our mark.
They were the best team last year, and it's relatively the same roster.
Yeah, so we've lost a lot of defensemen. That's the only thing.
That's true. That's true. They did lose some defensemen.
But, yeah.
I think they'll be a playoff team. I had them like 5th in my way too early predictions, but I think they'll be a playoff team. That was just me being too high on Utah. Which, speaking of some Central Division teams, I do have some a little bit.